Empty gas can. Alright. We'll do, once we get done looking at all these houses.
An aging car was parked here. Carl could picture the notary's heavy sedan with a huge back seat large enough to fit the whole family.
What's that got to do with anything? What is this? What's that? Give me some. What's that? I'm gonna break it. Yeah. Whack you over the head. Make sure there's nothing around the back. That's creepy.
Carl smiled at the sight of the nicely protected garden. Hopefully, the Bedards had managed to dig every last potato out before the sudden snowfall.
They're still gonna be here.
What was even the point of locking your door if everyone hid their key in the same place? Carl was starting to feel like his investigator life lacked challenge. The house smelled like incense, the kind that reminds you of the good Lord, of peace.
Alright, that's what was happening. I just need to get a little warm. One of the achievements has got to be turn on every single TV, even though you can't watch anything. No loose change in the cracks. Alright, sorry. Enough food for rough times. Hey, that's good. I'll take some. Everybody's got a lot of food now. Steak. Am I supposed to eat? No sound on the line. Ooh, more film. TV is on the other side. That's creepy.
Good Paul 6, appearing papal. His crooked fingers gave the impression he was about to bestow a miracle. Religion was very influential throughout Quebec many years ago. Indeed, it was surprising that Carl did not come across a single chapel since arriving here.
Gross.
The family's mother must have spent her days washing the filth off her kids' diapers. The empty cradle sent an eerie feeling down Carl's spine, as if minutes ago someone just grabbed the baby and made a run for it.
That's creepy.
Who knew that giraffes thrived in the North Pole? The craze for toys was stupefying. Who knew that giraffes thrived in the North Pole?
Would you shut up?
The craze for toys was stupefying. The Bedards had vacated the premises. Carl gathered they would be of no help.
So, basically, it doesn't matter that you decided to come back to this point in the game just to look around. Except,
Dream catchers originated from First Nations legends. They were used to trap nightmares.
nope, nope, nope. No nightmares here. Turn on all the lights. Right. No more. Nothing in there. Why am I looking through kids? So weird.
Shame that the family had bailed. Carl would have had a few questions for Jean-Luc, a close friend of Hamilton's.
Alright. The other side of the house. Which is outside. Alright. House number 2 down. Need some firewood before we leave. JK, let's not go play out here. Need some firewood. Carl's inventory is full. Carl's inventory is full. I got 1 log. Let's go, Carl. Straight across the road will be stop number 2. Not stop number 2, stop number 3. Before we have to go back through by the general store. We'll go fill up the car again and fill up the gas can. And this is going to be interesting. This is weird. Just a roundabout.
The crossbow bolt stuck into the wooden stairs reminded Carl of the arrow that was said to have hit Achilles' heel. But who was the intended Achilles this time?
Demons. Nobody thinks it's demons. Oh no. Just wait, you'll see. Why'd you jump? Don't put it out with your boot, Ted.
The air was freezing, right down to the bone.
No.
Was that the Lord Almighty's doing? A huge block of unnatural, glowy ice had swallowed that poor woman's body. What sort of supernatural force could have conjured this?
This is weird. I'm scared.
Something was hidden under the stairs.
This is scary.
The man grabbed his rifle. Carl felt a sense of dread in him. Perhaps their spousal relationship had been cooling down lately. It seemed like secrecy was commonplace in this house.
Under the stairs.
felt the cold slowly dissipate and was brought back to reality. Giselle was now only ice, and all that was left of her voice was a diary. She confided in this diary, amongst other things, the tragic story of a young woman, a victim. Was this what she was hiding? Looks like the holes in that puzzle are there to stay.
I'll unfreeze you.
The pot was cold, and the stew inside wasn't cooked. It's likely that poor Giselle was slow cooking it before she got snapped. What a waste.
No phones work.
Ah, moving. What a pleasant activity. Of course, you'll find the record player only to find the records weeks later in some random box. Carl had seen that kind of safe before. With its double-layered security system blending letters and numbers, its code couldn't be broken by the common burglar. The general store, along with several more infrastructures in the area, had been acquired by wealthy industrialist William J. Hamilton. Perhaps the village should be rechristened Hamiltown. What a mess! Clearly, there was some major revamping work underway here. The place looked barely habitable. A nice white coating would restore the room to its charm of olden days. Many boxes scattered about. Carl didn't need to summon his detective training to quickly figure that the Lachauses had just moved in.
Don't think I have to do too much narrating for this video. Kinda ominous. More film.
Many boxes scattered about.
Yes, thank you.
Carl didn't need to summon his detective training to quickly figure that the Lachauses had just moved in. Beautiful portrait of Gilles and Giselle, bound together by the chains of conventional love. The cross looked after a marriage's well-being and served as a motivator to uphold the priest's sermons calling for more little worshippers on one hand, and cautioning against guilty pleasures on the other. Indeed, the Lachauses were still part of the God-fearing generation.
BL 1948.